Hi, welcome to Feminist Fridays, a series where we explore the social, the political, and the media from a feminist and intersectional perspective, and use a lot of F words.
This is my favorite fucking show. Let's get this shit done.
So a video has been going around in the last couple weeks entitled 10 Hours of Walking Around NYC as a Woman. The video was released by an organization called Hollaback, a nonprofit group that aims to end street harassment. The video follows a woman silently walking the streets of New York, and she experiences some interesting encounters, to put it nicely, by strangers such as this.
Hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? Somebody's acknowledging you for being beautiful. She said thank you.
I'm not even gonna bullshit you guys. That was my favorite part of that entire fucking video. Just saying.
Hey, baby. Hey, beautiful.
A lot of women and news sources have applauded the video for presenting an experience that almost all women have to deal with on a regular, if not daily basis. However, some other reporters, not so much.
You're telling me then, if I compliment you on the street, it's some sort of abuse, no matter how I choose to do it? If you don't compliment me when I walk by, that's abuse. I want to start a coalition against women who don't compliment men.
Now, I actually watched that original interview in full before I ever had seen Marina's video, so I know she was being slightly deceptive there. The guy who was in that video, I don't remember his name, and I don't really particularly care all that much either, was actually saying that, well, he saw the video, obviously, and he was saying that, okay, well now women getting complimented on the street is now abuse. And so he was saying that, okay, how about this? If I were to say if women do not, in other words, if he were to not only flip the genders, but to flip the actual situation in its entirety, and to say that it would be abuse if women did not compliment men instead. That's what he was saying. He's saying that it was ridiculous, because it is ridiculous that to make an ad campaign about women should start going up to men and telling them that they look good. That's what he was saying, in the entire video, interview. I mean, he didn't do a great job of explaining it, and, well, the way that it was edited in Marina's video, it didn't make him look any better, but that's pretty much what he was saying in that portion of the video. Link in the description box below to get the whole CNN thing. Let's keep going.
To be honest, I don't even know where to start with this.
How about you start from the beginning?
First of all, what constitutes sexual harassment? I really like Hollaback's definition of harassment that says, street harassment is a form of sexual harassment that takes place in public spaces. At its core is a power dynamic that constantly reminds historically subordinated groups, women and LGBTQ folks, of their vulnerability for assault in public spaces. Further, it reinforces the ubiquitous sexual objectification of these groups in everyday life.
Wow. It is hilarious how this organization puts such a nefarious undertone under street harassment. So you mean to tell me that going up to a woman and saying, "Hey, beautiful, how are you doing today?" is actually a man saying, "No, I have complete power over you, and I'm here to remind you that you are endangered constantly whenever you step out of your house." That's actually ridiculously stupid. It is so goddamn stupid that I'm not really even sure how to respond to that. Okay, listen. No man, okay, not one, okay, and I'm going to say this as objective fucking fact, okay? There's not one single man that street harasses a woman with the intent to remind her that she's not safe in a public space. Not one. I will tell you, on the other hand, again as objective fact, that most men street harass to get some fucking attention. Or maybe, no, just maybe, to get a date. Because I'm not saying it has a huge success rate, but it does. I mean, it has worked for some people. Okay, catcalling. And look here, I'm not even here to defend street harassment as just the most successful and most fantastic way to talk to women. I'm here to say that it's not that fucking serious. It's not that big of a deal. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's acceptable. I'm not saying that it's honorable. But what I am saying is that it's not reinforcing some stupid ass power dynamic that men are trying to control women by giving them fucking compliments. What kind of logical sense does that make? I'm gonna show this woman I have complete control over her. Hey, beautiful person. You look fucking good. And you got a nice ass.
According to StopStreetHarassment.org, street harassment includes verbal comments, honking, whistling, vulgar gestures, leering, staring,
Unwanted staring. Unwanted staring. Really? Fucking really? Unwanted staring. Let me ask you this. How in the bloody hell are you supposed to know if a woman wants you to look at her if she doesn't want you to look at her? For example, I remember I told this story in last video on street harassment that there's this one girl wearing some really short shorts, so short that the cuff of her butt was hanging out. I have to wonder, did she want me to stare? Or was I staring unwantedly? And if I was staring at her when she didn't want to be stared at, was I street harassing her then? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Maybe she wanted people to see her butt. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I can't read fucking mind. I'm not Charles Xavier. How the bloody fuck am I supposed to know if a woman does want attention or when she doesn't want attention if we don't interact with each other? Bloody hell. Let's be honest here, okay? Instagram is full of women looking for attention, okay? Full of women looking for attention. And these women go outside of their house, at least I assume that they do. And if they go outside of their house, you know, dressed in a provocative way, the definition of provocative meaning you are intentionally trying to stir up emotions in somebody, how can we say that it's unwanted? Maybe it is wanted, maybe it isn't. We don't fucking know. And that is a huge problem with this whole street harassment thing that I'm going to get into later in this video.
groping, stalking, attempted or achieved assault, etc. while in a public place. Many girls and women see sexual harassment as a normal thing, mainly because of false assumptions perpetuated by society about male and female sexuality. These assumptions do an injustice to both women and men. Some of these assumptions include men having no control over their sexual urges, which most men know is bullshit.
Yeah, but I wonder where men hear most of that coming from. Oh wait, what? They from feminists? You mean most men hear that they can't control their sexual urges from feminists? Bloody hell.
This idea paints all men as potential rapists.
Holy fucking shit. I wonder where the hell I've heard that before. I've never heard anybody say that men are potential rapists. Oh wait, no, that's a lie. I've heard lots of people say men are potential rapists. You want to know how those people identify themselves as? Feminists. Talk about irony. Continue.
And rape as a crime of passion rather than a crime of power.
No, I'm not going to bullshit anyone. Sometimes I do think rape comes off as a crime of passion. Now, a lot of people have a very positive connotation for the word of passion, but sometimes having too much passion for something, too much of anything is a bad thing. I'm not going to paint that every rapist that rapes is someone that does it simply because they want to have power over a woman. I do think some men do rape out of lust. And, excuse me, I'm not saying that to defend their actions because, I mean, if you've watched most of my videos, you know my position on rape. So, I'm not saying that to defend these guys and saying, oh yeah, give them a pardon because they were filled with lust. No, I'm not fucking saying that. What I am saying, though, is that if most women know they're rapists, and most women were raped by someone they call a friend, then I think it does follow suit that sometimes not every guy that was their friend was someone who was a manipulator or was a psychopath, but maybe was some guy who was actually trying to date this girl this whole entire time, and he found he had an opportunity and he decided to fucking take it. Not defending his actions, let me just put that in the video so no one can comment, are you saying that rape is okay because it's from the... No, I'm not saying that at all. So what I am saying is that it is possible. I personally do think that some rapists rape out of lust, and I do think some rapists rape to feel powerful. I do. Just my opinion. Continue.
This assumption also puts the expectation on women that they have to endure harassment and aggression by men because, ladies, you just gotta deal with it. There's also the assumption that women's sexuality exists for the benefit of men, and men are entitled to comment on female and female-presenting bodies in public spaces.
No, Marina. The First Amendment gives men the ability to do that.
Women's bodies are not on public display for men to sexualize and give their opinions on.
Yeah, but Marina, women sexualize their own bodies. And since we have the First Amendment, we can say what's on our mind. I'm not saying that you should, but you can. I mean, yeah, men can comment on women's bodies in public spaces. based on the First Amendment. And then some women seek out the opinions of men on how they look.
They're attached to women who have brains and personalities and a lot of shit to do rather than deal with harassment.
That's why I offer up the very easy solution: ignore it and keep going.
I'm just going to clear up a couple of myths that I've been seeing a lot recently pertaining to sexual harassment. Women just can't take a compliment. You don't get to decide for a woman whether or not she should take something as a compliment.
And this begins the ultimate problem of street harassment, at least when it comes from a woman's point of view.
If you tell me I gave a good presentation in class or that you like my outfit, then chances are I will gladly accept those compliments because they're genuine and they make me feel good.
Yes, now, see, Marina, this is the biggest problem you have here. You say that you will gladly accept those compliments because they make you feel good, which means that it is entirely subjective. Keep that in mind.
The problem is when you say something to a stranger that doesn't make them feel good and you try to dictate how they should feel or react. Surprisingly, saying your eyeliner is on point today and hey baby, you're looking damn fine are gonna elicit very different responses from a woman.
Now, see, while those are both compliments, both of them not really even being all that sexual in nature, because they don't make you feel good, you don't accept them as compliments. Let me ask you this. Throughout the course of my life in high school, in the course of time in high school, I have gave many a woman compliments. Lots of them compliments. Okay? And I do think that some of them were probably casting out their little fishing pole and their fishing net, looking for some compliments. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, I would give them compliments. And more often than not, I would get, I'm not pretty, or that's not true, or you're lying, and all that bullshit. Which led me to believe that some women really can't take compliments. And that was just me, like, in a private place giving them these compliments. Not out in the street or in public. This is someone that they know is giving them a fucking compliment, and they won't take it. So I do think that some women can't take compliments, based on my personal experience. Also based on what you just said. Continue.
You know harassment isn't a compliment when, hey, you look beautiful can escalate to fuck you bitch in 0.2 seconds.
Actually, by definition, it could still technically be a compliment, even if you hurt the guy's feelings 0.2 seconds later. I mean, truth be told, if you're sitting next to your girlfriend and you say, oh, hey, you look beautiful today, can also turn into fuck you bitch in 2 seconds if you reply, actually, no, fuck you. I don't look beautiful. I mean, you know. I mean, it's possible. Just because someone could say something different or change their opinion in the next second doesn't mean that the preceding statement was not a compliment.
Only attractive women get harassed. According to Stop Street Harassment, a nonprofit organization that studies and works to end harassment.
Yeah, instead of focusing all of their resources on ending world hunger or helping men gain self-esteem, yeah, let's just stop all of those women from getting compliments on the street because the misogyny.
2/3 of women experience street harassment. The survey was the first national study on street harassment and surveyed 2,000 people across all ages, races, sexual orientations, and geographic locations. The report summary stated that most women in the United States experience street harassment, and some men, especially men who identify as gay, bisexual, queer, or transgender.
You did prove something to be conclusive. What you proved to be conclusive was that not all women get street harassed. And not only that, but not only people who deal with street harassment are women. Which I think was a good thing that you did in today's video. But, yeah, I guess it's better to say that only attractive people have to worry about street harassment. I know damn well I don't have to worry about getting complimented on the street on my way to doing whatever the fuck I'm doing, so...
You wouldn't mind if it was someone attractive harassing you. The key factor of sexual harassment is that it's unwanted.
Key factor of sexual harassment is that it's subjective. You're saying that it's unwanted, but you can arbitrarily decide when you want it and when you don't want it. For example, which is kind of the point of the myth that you're trying to debunk. The person is saying that if the person is attractive, then it becomes wanted, and then it's not street harassment. But if the person is unattractive and you don't want it from those type of people, then they become creepy, and then it becomes sexual harassment. Based on your arbitrary feelings on the individual saying it, not on the statement being said. Again, if Edward fucking Cullen, okay, let's just say he's not a vampire, let's just say some perfect guy, Edward fucking Cullen, how about that? Because first guy to my mind. If Edward Cullen came up to some young little lady and said, hey, you look great today, and he walked away from her, that's probably fucking wanted. I mean, you know, if she wanted Edward fucking Cullen or some guy like him to say something to her, that's not street harassment. Now let's say some short little bald fat man came up and said, hey honey, you look great today. Well, now she's a little disgusted by this guy. Now this is some unwanted attention. She doesn't want this little fat man to come say some shit to her. Now it becomes street harassment based on her arbitrary feelings. And that is the issue with street harassment. It's way too fucking subjective.
It doesn't matter how attractive the person harassing you is, as long as it makes you feel uncomfortable or demeaned. Fucking John Krasinski could be whistling at me across the street, and it wouldn't matter because it's still gonna make me feel offended and disrespected.
The operative word in that statement was feel.
Street harassment is harmless. Well, last month, 2 women were brutally attacked on separate occasions simply for rejecting unwanted advances from strange men.
Marina, that's called assault. That is not called street harassment.
One woman was killed and the other woman was left in critical condition. It's instances like these that leave so many women afraid to stand up for themselves against street harassers, because often it escalates to verbal abuse and in these cases, brutal physical violence.
Henceforth, why I say carry a concealed weapon or learn some martial arts. I'm not saying that because I dislike women, but I'm saying that as their solutions. Ignore them. This is why I say there's no reason to shout back. There's no reason to holler back. Just ignore it. Keep going. You have all the power in that situation. And should a man or anybody attempt to put their hands on you, well, you're packing. You got a weapon. You got some nunchucks. Actually, nunchucks are illegal in Florida. Well, you'll have something. You'll have your hands, expertise, some knowledge on how to get out of that situation. That's what I'm saying. That's why you should learn martial arts. And you should not engage in a verbal confrontation with someone who's street harassing you, because you don't fucking know what this person's capable of. Ignore it and leave the vicinity.
So I can't even say hi to a woman without being labeled a sexual predator. It's sometimes hard to make definitive statements about what does and doesn't count as sexual harassment.
Because it's really, really subjective.
Because context is important and differs from situation to situation.
See? She just said exactly what I've been saying, except with much smarter words. So let's wrap this up.
If I walk into an elevator and a stranger says hi to me in order to be polite, that's very different than if they were to address me in a creepy way in order to come on to me. The tone of the comment and any nonverbal cues that the stranger might use all make up the context of the situation. But women aren't oblivious and can usually easily tell the difference between someone being creepy and harassing them and someone being genuinely nice.
I beg to differ. But I beg to differ so fucking much that it would actually translate into its own video. But I will say this in replacement of that. There are lots of women who call genuinely nice men creepy for no fucking reason. In other words, what you just said is just simply false. Wrap us up, Marina.
Also, if you're hearing that the majority of women have to deal with frequent sexual harassment and on top of that have to worry about being assaulted or killed for speaking up about it, and your main concern is that you can't hit on strangers you see on the street, then I would reconsider your fucking priorities.
Oh, Marina, you're getting a little saucy over there. Well, yeah, that's the end of her video and subsequently the end of mine. I'm not even going to lie, I enjoy making video responses to people complaining about street harassment. I mean, really, like, it takes a special kind of person to complain about getting complimented on a regular basis. I'll leave this little food for thought. There are lots of people in our society, men and women alike, who are not very attractive. And instead of dealing with lots of people giving them compliments or telling them that they look sexy, they deal with the complete fucking opposite. Let me ask you this. Where's your fucking ad campaign to stop the harassment of unattractive people from getting attacked and bullied on a regular fucking basis? With that being said, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, man, go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below, and as always, have a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.